to Chat and Chill podcast, where we're having conversations to reflect, connect, and inspire. I'm your host, Bills, aka Ngenda, and today on the episode 3, we are having Christine Musole, who is a teacher, a passionate artist, a news reporter, etc. And today we are going to dive into her experience and how she has managed to put through everything she has done and what she has been through. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. First of all, we would like to know, who is Christine?
That's right. That is one of the frequently asked questions. I would say it's the FAQ, that I usually come across, especially in Mogo district as well as on Facebook, so to say.
Yeah.
So Christy, like you have mentioned, I'm an author, a teacher, a news reporter, and a passionate artist.
Exactly.
And also a Mogo resident.
Yeah, sure. Let's try to understand your early life, your growing up, your childhood. How was it like?
I think my childhood, I wouldn't even say I've had experienced any childhood at all, because it's like I was just forced to grow up, when I was very, very young. I'm telling you. Because if you were to ask me a question right now to say, when did you start working?
Exactly.
I would tell you I actually attained my first job when I was 13 years old.
When you were 13?
Yeah. So while other children were playing, while they were there, enjoying childhood and all that, I was right there working. So I was born in the family of 3, currently 2. Unfortunately, I lost my father when I was a month old. I was born in March and he died in April. I guess that would also translate to the reason why I had to start working at a tender age, because I needed to start helping out my mother, to sort out 1 or 2 bills, not to mention your name bills, but some bills in the home. So I was forced to start working at the age of 13. I remember I was in grade 8 then at Mulamba Primary School. Someone may ask, what were you doing? What was your job?
Yeah, what was the job? Actually, that was the next question.
So I started working as a radio actress in a program called Fahamani Lango. I don't know if you used to listen to that program. Yes, it used to come on regularly, steady. But so I started working as a radio actress there. I used to play the role of Mwangala. Who used to come from Sinjo Kolibala, but that's a story for another day.
Exactly.
But I think that is mainly my childhood. I wouldn't really say childhood, because if you are working at the age of 13, it's like you do not even consider yourself a child. It's like you're just forced to grow up. Exactly. At a tender age. So that is like, way back. That was like 2009.
2009.
Yeah. A lot of years.
Yes. So how did you even get to have that job, or even just the motivation for you to go there and say, let me do this, let me start working like this? Because for most of the kids, some of the kids, let's say, who were in your shoes at that particular time, most of them, what they would think of is the next move, let me go in the street, let me start doing this ABC. Yeah,
that's right. So I think I was just home on that particular day, but then we used to live in Nambod with my mother, my elder brother, and my elder sister. I'm the last born, by the way, but I eat carpenter. I know there is always that notion that last born do not eat carpenter. Carlos just sang garage and close there, but I eat carpenter. So I was home on that specific day, and one uncle of mine just came home and he said, well, you like drama too much. You like making us laugh and all. So there are some people that are auditioning, on the other side. I was like, where? And they pointed, it was right opposite Calabash, if you know where Calabash is in Mont.
So I remember those offices.
So I was called, well, they are auditioning, so you can come through, just to audition. They can ask you 1 or 2 questions. I found a lot of people, and I think you can also make it. I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And that was how I went there. I found thousands of people queuing up, and I was like, okay, so why would they pick me out of these multitudes?
Exactly.
Before I could know it, they gave me a script and they told me, well, you have to read this script, but you do not need to sound like you're reading. You just need to sound like you are talking. I was like, okay, that's water to me. And that was how I read that. But then the unfortunate part was that I was picked, but I didn't have a phone. So even when I was picked, I didn't know I was picked, you know. So they started announcing like on Radio Liseli, Radio Liambai, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
You know, they started saying whoever knows Christine Musole Mwangala. So they had put my audition in there.
Oh, okay.
So my mom started saying, well, I know my daughter is Christine Musole. I just said, Mwangala, where did this Mwangala come from? You know, until one day she was like, well, they were busy calling someone on the radio by the name of Christine Musole Mwangala. Would you happen to know that person? I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
It's like, who gave you the name Mwangala? So I had to explain. And that was how I attained that job, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you attained this job quite alright, but still there was still that motivation and the inspiration, because I can now connect your interest to music, media, to that same background. But now who are some of the people that you looked up to and said, I think I can also have a career in this area?
That's right. So at that particular moment, I wouldn't say I got into radio acting because there is someone that I wanted to follow.
Yeah.
I think my main interest at that particular moment was to help mom pay the bills. I remember when I got my first wage, not salary then, because we used to get paid per script. You know, so when I was given that money, I told mom, well, from today onwards, the only thing you're going to put into consideration are my school fees and my elder sister's school fees. But from today onwards, I will buy the books, I will buy the uniforms and all that. So at that particular moment, I didn't necessarily have a role model. Yeah. I was just doing it to help mom, you know, pay the bills. But then as time went by, I could see a number of people, you know, especially in the arts industry, in the entertainment industry, and I would say, well, I think I could be like that person. Yeah, and I think that is also what developed my interest into cameras, as well as, you know, being in front of cameras, microphones, cables, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So when you were doing this radio acting, you were still at school at this particular time.
Yeah.
How were you managing?
Well, I think when you are in grade 8, you do not necessarily have a lot of things to do. Of course, you can study at night, but I mean, when you are done with school around 12 hours, what do you do next? You know, so for me, it was usually, my routine was, in the morning, I would go to school, that was Mulambwa. In the afternoon, I would go and record my scripts, of which it was not on a daily basis. It would just happen, like when the scripts are out, they would call you. Oh, by the way, I bought my phone.
You bought your phone
So when I've got some scripts to record, they would call me, well, we've got some scripts here and you can come through to record. So I would go there, record, and then I would get back home to do some of the chores. And that continued for like 4 years, because I was with Falamandila for 4 years.
For 4 years?
Yeah.
So you stopped working with them when you were in grade 11?
When in grade 11, going into grade 12, I was like, well, let me concentrate on my school. I need to study. And I think that was the time they also closed it down, because it stopped operating then.
Yeah. And how did you transition from being a radio actor, a radio actress, to the profession in which I knew you from, which was teaching? How did the change happen?
I hear you. So apparently, when I was in grade 12, I started realizing that, okay, time is coming by. I need to prepare my mind for university, you know, so to say. But then unfortunately, at that particular moment, my mom did not have money to pay for me, especially when I was done with grade 12. That was in 2013. I wanted to do journalism, mass communication, but then mom told me, well, I cannot really pay for you, so you need to sort yourself out, you know. And that was how I started doing pieceworks, by selling in a boutique, as well as also doing some part-time presenting at Mungu FM radio. And so mom just told me, well, I think there's a course that I can help you with. And I was like, which one is that? She was like, teaching. I was like, what? I can't be a teacher. I want to be in front of the cameras, you know.
Exactly.
I can't be a teacher. And she was like, okay, let's do this. Let's make a deal. You get into teaching. The moment you start getting paid, then you can sponsor yourself in school so that you can study mass communication and journalism. And I was like, that sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
So guess what? When I was done with university, I did a degree in English and religious studies.
Yeah.
I was done in 2018. That was how I got my degree and gave it to Mom. I was like, you wanted me to be teaching, so here's the document. Let me start pursuing what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
So I wouldn't say I have really delved into teaching after acquiring that qualification. I didn't, but I could do some part-time lessons, tuitions and all that.
Oh, so you never got into like full-time employment,
No.
let's say in government?
No, I got my license, my teaching license, and parked it.
Oh wow. Soft life.
It's not soft as such. I was just trying to run away from seeing the same faces on a daily basis. It's quite hectic.
One other thing before we go forward.
Yeah.
There's that part where you're saying your mother said go into teaching, and then before you came to an agreement to say you were going to do the teaching and then the arts later on. How many other people do you feel are hindered from doing maybe what they want and they thought go and do this first? Some are stuck there.
That's right.
Maybe you are like you didn't go into the civil service, but some are. So what do you feel about that, where parents have to force other people into?
I think it depends. I think in most cases, parents do not necessarily choose professions for their children. Of course, we do have those people whereby they're doctors and they feel their children can also be doctors.
Yeah.
They feel that, okay, since we do not have a lawyer in the family, if we could have a lawyer, then that would be great. I think if we could have an accountant, since I'm running businesses, then my child can help me, with accounting and keeping the books up to date. But to some, it's like unforeseen circumstances or circumstances beyond their control, like in terms of mom's situation. You will not believe that my tuition fee was my mother's salary. Okay? My tuition fee is my mother's salary. And then I also have an elder brother who also needs to be in school. So like, what do we do now? So imagine you are left in a situation where you cannot even do what you want anyway. You just have to go with what you can, because at that particular moment, what was important was acquiring a qualification that you can at least use instead of just sitting at home. So at least the teaching one, I got a 50% bursary, so I gave Mom a breather, which she could also cater for my elder brother. So she was sponsoring 2 people at the same time. She could starve herself just to make sure I was in school. And so when I was done, I was like, okay, I don't need to do this, because in the first place, even Mom knew I didn't need to do this. Even myself, I knew I don't have to do this. So I had to do what I wanted. But I know there are a lot of people that are stuck in that specific position. Some of them have actually appreciated to say, I'm glad my parents forced me to do this. But for some, trust me, they really want to find their ways out of that. And whatever means that you can use to be out of that, use them, just so that you can do what you're passionate about. Yeah,
and still understanding your journey, you are like one of the most private people, because I don't even know when you graduated with you did mass communications later.
I did mass communication. I'm not yet done. So I'm still in school.
You're still in school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm practicing while in school.
I thought you graduated.
No.
Yeah, so now how did you transition? You're still talking about your journey up to where you are right now.
That's right.
Yeah, so from the teaching, what I remember is you came in and the next thing I saw, it was a poster.
Yeah.
Vote for Christine Musole.
I know, right?
I was like, yo. I was actually happy. I was like, I knew this woman as a teacher. Now she's
in this. What is going on?
Yeah, so I was like, so how did that transition? How did that
I hear you. So this is how the Member of Parliament, title came through. The honorable kind of title came through.
You're still saved as Honorable Christine in that one.
I trust you on that one. I mean, someone also came to me and said, Christy, what happens to the honorable position, because you are still saved as such in my phone? I was like, keep it that way. Do not edit it. So I think the politics aspect of it came while I was in university.
Mass media?
No, not in mass media. Actually, when I was still doing teaching.
Okay.
That is when it came. That was somewhere 2016, 2017, because I started doing the teaching course in 2015.
Yeah.
That's when I started pursuing the degree in the teaching course. And so while in university, I got to realize that a lot of people trusted me with leadership. Okay, but then I could actually trace it back to the times I was at Mulangwa.
Yeah.
So when I was in grade 8, I was a prefect. When I was in grade 9, I was the vice head girl. When I was in grade 10, I was the class monitress. 11, prefect. 12, head girl for Kambule Technical Secondary School. In university, first year, I was the secretary general. You know, so a number of people could now begin to, you know, entrust me with leadership. They would always say, she is capable. She can do this. And before I knew it, I didn't know that some of the students there were part and parcel of the Socialist Party.
Oh, okay.
So they started now, you know, they started telling others who were not even in school that there's this girl in school, her name is Christine, and we believe that she is capable, you know, of doing this. And I was like, that's quite interesting. So I was approached by the Socialist Party.
Oh, it wasn't the other way around.
No, I didn't go looking out like where can I join? Like he needs to unleash my leadership potential. No, I didn't do that. I was approached. So they came to me and they said, we would want you to join. They didn't say, we would want you to join the Socialist Party. They said, we would want you to join the Socialist Youth League. And I was like, Youth League, come on now. You know, I mean, why not? I'm a youth, you know, that kind of thing. So you join the Youth League and then you come to realize that it's not actually just the Youth League, it's about the Socialist Party. And they begin to give me more information, books to read, you know, things to study. By the way, you cannot be a member of the Socialist Party if you do not study their content and the things that they give you. You need to study, you need to understand their ideology, you need to understand their principles, their values, and after that you can then decide whether to be part and parcel of them or to exit. And I chose to stay. So that was how I joined the Socialist Party. Before I could know it, I was active in the Youth League. I did one or two things. I could be invited for some interviews within the country and outside, some lessons, some trainings, so on and so forth, until 2020. Until 2020. That year, awesome.
It was now honorable.
I'm telling you, that was when I was adopted now to contest in the 2021 elections at the age of 24.
Yeah, that was great. I think you were even going to be the youngest. I'm sure maybe you were the youngest aspiring.
I was. In Mongo Central, there were 9 contestants. I was the youngest at 24.
Yeah, that's really nice. And looking at politics, what are some of the lessons that you picked from the short period that you have been in politics? What are some of the lessons you have learned, which you still, some which you have left and some which you still keep even up to now?
That's right. So first thing first that I have learned in politics, you know, being in active politics, is that it is very much possible for a young person to lead. It is very much possible for a young person to lead. That is one. Secondly, young people have got people that trust also, that trust them. These ones are capable of leading. Why? Because for several years they have had old people leading them and they have seen what they're capable of doing and what they are incapable of doing. And so they believe, okay, I think we've tried the old people enough. Why don't we try the young ones? You know, but I think somehow the young people are somehow shunning away.
We're so depoliticized.
Exactly. I mean, some of us, the young people, believe that being into politics, you need to have maybe to have money. That is one of the things. You know, you need to be a retiree. You know, you need to have some farm somewhere. You know, you need to have a house and a car somewhere. You know, you hear the young people say, ni fera pili ufuma fume pili kwa tena inya. Ona lukati upikela mwate ni mwali tabaziza politics. Fanya fa pili fa bakalu lawyer. You know, all those kinds of notions. You know, but then you have this group of people that believe that it's actually the young people that could move this country forward. And it was also in that process that I came to realize and to learn that actually the future is not built in the future. It is built on the threshold of what we do today. Because if you keep on waiting to say the future will come, the question is, what is it that you are doing now that is going
Between
to
now and the
prepare
future,
you for
yeah.
the same future. And remember also that while we were young, we kept on saying, my name is Christine Musole, and I'm going to be the future leader. Goodness me, this is now 2024. Which other
Yeah.
future are we waiting for? So
Yeah.
it means that the future can actually mean the next minute. It could mean the next day. It could mean the next year, so on and so forth. But then now the question is, what is it that you are doing now
Yeah, exactly.
that is preparing you for the future that you keep on talking about? So I've learned that it is very much possible for a young person to lead, but then there are certain constraints that are there in active politics.
Yeah.
Why? It's because the people that have been there before us have set a certain trend of money giving anyhow and everywhere, of which it is quite difficult for you to erase when you do not have money and you are in active politics.
Yeah, I think that brings me to the next question.
Yeah.
When you talked about the people who have been there in politics,
Yeah.
them setting a certain trend.
Yeah.
The question, I think someone asked me this question. I think I even posted it on my status some time back.
Yeah.
The question was, do you think it's the political system which creates the kind of politicians we have, or is the other way around?
Because for politics to exist, it means there are people there.
Yeah.
The people are the ones that create the system. The people are the ones that create whatever trends that we see.
Yeah.
The system can be as plain as possible, but the people that delve into that specific system are the ones that begin to set certain trends.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you who are coming behind, for you to erase that trend, that foundation which has already been laid, sometimes it is quite difficult. It is quite difficult because if the people on the ground have been used to the fact that when you go to visit them, you do not go empty-handed. You need to go with bags of mealy meal, stenge regalia, my t-shirts, try for keep that my cape, one when you go there without those things, because remember you are a young person.
Yeah.
You've not had this long lifetime to build whatever kind of wealth that you're going to use in this active politics thing. So you tend to find this kind of environment that is not so good for you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily good, for lack of better terms, but something that does not favor you. Because when I was up at school, okay, the campaign, for the past 60 years. Also, for like some bags, I'm 9 rice. My sharing banana, try back akufafa.
You have his idea.
It's not Lucato, like where do you think I'm going to get that money from?
Exactly.
So not just that, but maybe like uterama sharing.
Yeah.
But out of
retirement package.
Shame. Yeah, so those are some of the challenges that the young people have. And actually someone would even come and say, but you do not have the experience.
Yeah.
I am not so, I don't know how I look at this same statement. No, you do not have the experience.
Yes.
Like, how do you create experience? Isn't it by doing whatever it is that
you don't give me the opportunity to?
How am I going to create that experience?
Something you apply for a job and then like 5 years.
You know that kind of thing. So if you give me this job, I'll begin to create the experience. So for you to create the experience, you need to be active into that kind of environment so that you can build the experience from there. But then this is something that some people do not understand. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that goes also, it's not even actually just in politics alone, even in some fields.
That's right. That's right.
There's a field that I'm in right now. You find that they tell you to say they need a person who is between 25 and 20 years. And the experience, maybe they're saying 5 years experience. And then I left school maybe 1 or 2 years ago. Yeah, and that is an entry level job. So at some point, the system doesn't always favor the young people.
It doesn't.
Yeah, from politics, the other thing I see that we are active in very much is music.
Oh.
And actually this music thing, even when you were still a teacher, I remember that time at Kambule, you were still a recording artist.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. How did you enter into music?
So music, I actually started singing when I was in grade 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
At
when
church?
I was in grade 4. at church and at parties.
Oh.
Yeah, at church and at parties. I was in grade 4, but then you know, like, you don't say what kind of parties. Obviously, not the night parties, not the clubbing.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So we had this neighbor, and trust me, this neighbor could celebrate literally anything and everything. He was a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever his children would pass, you know, like with flying colors, it's a celebration.
It's a party.
You know, the wife was pregnant, it's a party. The baby is born, it's a party. Before you know it, Christmas is here, Independence is here,
It's
you know,
party.
New Year is. It was always parties at his yard, and he used to have this sound system and with a microphone and all that. So he would always give me the microphone and say, well, can you sing along?
Yeah.
You know, he would play a song and then I'm also singing along, I'm miming and stuff like that. And then sometimes he would actually, you know, switch off the system and the microphone is still on and my voice goes, you know, and people would really be entertained. They'll be like, you know. And then before you know it, this person who was with the microphone is somewhere now popping the balloons. Me never was entertained. I just empunya kama balloon, you know, that kind of thing, because I was young.
Yeah.
You know, and then as time went on, somewhere 2011 when I was in grade 10 at Kambole, so I heard that there was this competition. It was a singing competition organized by St. John's Secondary School, and it was at Catholic. I was like, oh wow, I think I could also go there.
Yes.
You know, and then afterwards they now changed and they said, well, everyone else could. Yo, I asked for a beat and I started singing, you know, live, and it was a freestyle. And guess what? I was given the first position. I think I still have the certificate.
You still have it?
Yeah. From St. John's, and they gave me, and they were like, "Here na number 1, yo, never knew me." She's not from St. John's. Why would you give her the first position? You know, that kind of thing. And then after that,
And what kind of a song were you singing? Was it gospel?
It wasn't gospel, Shem. It wasn't gospel, Shem. You know, where you are in grade 10. And then people know that you have this nice voice, you know, and then it's like you are just there, you want to be this celebrity. You know what I mean?
Alicia Keys,
Nicki Minaj, Charlie Folk, rapper, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, and then they give you this opportunity with a free instrumental to sing. You wouldn't really think about God at that particular moment, but that kind of thing. So I got that first position. And afterwards, someone now came to realize that, oh, this girl can sing. And they gave me a chance at Sunrise Records. There used to be Sunrise Records in the station where VCM was the producer, as well as Mr. Musiwa. And so they adopted me. They were like, well, this girl could sing. And they started making instrumentals for me. I never used to write music, but I would sing freestyle and it would come out perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently I'm not a music writer, but I'm a singer.
You're just a singer.
Yeah, if you give me a free beat right now, I will put my vocals there, but definitely not writing.
Should have brought a DJ.
I know, right? So that is how I got into the music industry.
So you even have got recorded songs?
I have 11.
Only 11 songs?
Only 11 songs.
Since 2011?
Yeah, I mean, I think as time went on, I got so used to one producer, and that was VCM. And so when he passed on, I called it quits as well, because I felt there was no other producer that would actually bring out my vocals as he did, because he would actually really push me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, even where I felt like, okay, this is my limit, I can't go beyond this, he would actually tell me, you can.
Yeah.
And then I could see from other producers, like the moment you put your vocal there, even when you feel even when I feel like you know what I mean? And then you feel like, no, but this is not what I was supposed to do. So, and then we became busy, so I couldn't record anymore.
So when did you do your last song?
In 2015.
No, okay.
Yeah.
In 2015.
Gospel song, yeah.
Oh, at some point you were affiliated to Flytime Music.
No.
You were not?
I wasn't, no. I was just a huge fan of Flytime.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were part of them.
No, I was just a huge fan. I was
Okay.
just a huge fan, and then sometimes I could do some backing vocals in
Yeah.
some of their songs, but not necessarily recording with Flight Time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually thought you were part of them and
Nah.
stuff like that.
No.
Yeah, coming back to education, you are one of the people who is so heavy on education. Last time I saw a post of you, you were saying something about your educational background,
Yeah.
how you managed, even despite of financial challenges here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we now have got things like AI.
Yeah.
Like recently, Microsoft just released an article saying they are about to release a Copilot PC, which is like full time powered by AI. And seeing how AI has evolved, yeah, the growth has been so rapid. Do you think it's going to make this generation an impatient generation and also a lazy generation when it comes to learning things?
I actually think it would actually depend on how the person is going to use it.
Yeah.
If one is just going to get their brain and just put it on the side and begin to use AI, I think that has got its own implications.
Yeah.
We could see it, you've been in university with these other students, and then it's time for you to, like, put forth the service, of which you acquired the knowledge, and then you now get here and you do not know what to do. You get into this school, you are supposed to teach, you are supposed to make a lesson plan, and your friend is coming, bro,
I know the one you are posting the graduation photos.
Yeah.
No, it's more kanjo wa graduation paperwork. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there is always a way in which, because you're not going to be with your phone literally everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the question is, when you are going to be put in that room where you're supposed to offer a service and you do not have your gadget with you, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it also brings us back to the aspect of people saying, no, machinery is taking away people's jobs.
Yeah.
Years back you could reach Zanaco, and when you just get by the door, a guard is opening the door for you actually, kunani aho waskwalo, wena wakena waskwala.
Yeah.
But now you reach by the door, there's a sensor. The door just opens on its own, and then you go, and then you begin to ask yourself, Madara, that kind of thing. And then that's reality. Maybe that old man is now at home because his services are no longer needed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at the same time you'd find, machinery, farmers valimi, and maybe baba 50, yo limera fa yo taulera fa yo fa batisata machine. Mwana wafela simu ka fa na kele ifela. That kind of thing. Trying na baba 50, the question is, where do you go?
Yeah, what's next?
So I think we just need to learn how to coexist with machinery. We cannot say we do not need machinery. We actually need it. And then we cannot even say that, okay, can take off your machinery, again, we're going to starve.
Yeah.
Because the machinery does not even require maternity leave, by the way. That kind of thing. So they would rather have the machine and let you go.
Yeah.
But then what do I say? I actually encourage people that it is very, very possible for working hours for human beings to be reduced.
Yeah.
So if you are saying that you've got machinery and people work from 8 hours to 17 hours, so why don't they work from 8 to 12 and let the other machinery do the work? At the end of the day, machine you cannot necessarily let let people do not rely 100% on machinery.
Yeah, I asked that question because even me, it got to me when ChatGPT was coming out. Even just the little things I could think on my own, I would go. Yeah, I became so lazy at thinking. Even just a little thing. What's this times this on ChatGPT every time. So now that lazy culture, we are the products of the habits, and in this day and era, almost everyone has got a smartphone.
Yeah.
And each and everyone, 24/7, they are on scrolling down, the scroll effect. So that kind of laziness now, are we going to see that very much in this generation? Or
there are high chances. There are actually high chances of us seeing such kinds of trends in this kind of generation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everyone is going to seem intelligent, but the only thing that is going to sieve us is service delivery.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It is service delivery. Kono chaliso fuluka bondera ngafya kuli apo yo kantie na yo na sivya widu sisafera kugutu kalwa hai akunaza kona kweza.
Yeah.
You know, and then at the end of the day you just literally become dormant and dysfunctional. Because imagine trying for phone ya how a computer way with sanga 18 minutes in malon shading. So the question is, how are you now going to to do things on your own if you're going to rely on gadgets alone?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think there are high chances of seeing that kind of arrangement. I mean, if people are reaching extents where they no longer want to fall pregnant because they do not want to destroy their physical structures, they would rather have their child, you know, being born in a laboratory. You know, at the end of the day, vakuliziza fela vamsole mkai mwanami na kiyote la konda and then you just like, now imagine the kind of child that you're going to raise because you do not have an attachment to this child. Have you ever tried to sit around a parent, a mother especially, from nowhere, her child begins to cry at a distance? Before being told that that's your child, she will know. Because there is that attachment, because I mean, you carried this child for 9 months in your womb. So there is always that connection, that attachment. Now, if your child is being, you know, raised in a room and you are somewhere else working, and not for any particular important reasons, but because you do not just want to mess up your physical structure, I mean, who does that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, yeah. There are high chances, but I think it's up to us making decisions of whether we want to go that route as an individual or you'd want to mix things.
Yeah, and still coming back to education.
Yeah.
So recently there were some people who were graduating at UNZA. Unfortunately, I've never worn the UNZA gown before.
I mean, I've seen people editing their pictures.
Yeah, I think I should also edit one.
With this AI?
Yeah, with this AI. Yeah, so there is a post that I saw where someone was saying we are producing graduates at a higher rate than we are creating jobs. Yeah. What's your take on that? Are you, as graduates, are we being prepared for the real world, to say when you come into the real world, you can do A, B, C, and D without waiting for someone to call you to say, Christine, here is a job for you?
I hear you. I think personally, if I was to think about any venture that would actually employ thousands of youths currently, it's only agriculture. It's only agriculture.
Plenty land, yeah.
We get back to the land as young people.
You reminded me of Malema. We get back to that.
I'm telling you, because if we are all going to rely on these white collar jobs, we are not going to acquire them. We are not going to have them. You know why? Because even the people that are supposed to retire are making all sorts of means not to retire.
Exactly.
You would say that this person is odd. Even when you can see that this person's service delivery has now been reduced because this person has aged. He's supposed to be home now with his family. Memory, naturally you get into this office, they start asking you what's your name, comes so where did I see this person? I'm like, sir, I was here yesterday, sir. Then this day you want to that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so if we are all going to rush for white collar jobs, trust me, we are going to be in a mess. We're going to, I don't know what is going to happen to us. I think the only way out is agriculture. We have massive land and people need to eat all the time, and it is not necessarily that you are going to be producing for Zambians only.
Exactly.
You could actually begin to export whatever kinds of mass food that you can do that. I mean, in terms of Western Province, or maybe Mongo to be specific, we've got massive land.
A lot of it.
that we can use to produce rice.
Yeah.
I mean, we are producing very, very little rice. I mean, for now, it's quite different because of drought. The whole country is experiencing drought. But I mean, the Barote floodplains can really feed us, I don't know for how many years, in which we can actually be exporting. And it is not necessarily about you getting into the field. But imagine now if thousands of people could get into rice production. It means that we are going to have industries right here that are going to be processing that rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that industry is going to be operated by young people. Kuna baba checking as a kuli chokoli wachane rice packaged chwane. There are people that are going to be printing and producing those bags for packaging. Sometimes never to saka tona trufi appetite cha rice that ramen.
Saka kauna.
Saka katina kufisa le sakuli pini leke. But if you could have young people that are coming now with new minds to say no, we can pre-pack this nicely. And then you could see some other packaging of rice because they're so transparent.
Yeah.
People sometimes get scared because the bag itself is like, it's not transparent. Actually, in Kazwa Chanja make it sound.
Yeah.
Not only that, like, is the rice that I'm buying broken or not? I think transparent bags would make sense.
Yeah.
So you see, it's the young people that could actually do that. If you could come up with
but come to think of it, I've not been to a supermarket where they're selling rice that's not visible.
Yeah, exactly. When you go to ShopRite,
it's
the rice,
it's this and that. It's like visible. It's like you are seeing what
you're buying.
And
then monga to paper to is transparent to me. I think I paid. There's that post I saw where I think you posted it where it showed Mongo rice and
you know, and then they'll say support your local bro, you can support that one. People are was Mongo rice, support that one. You know, that kind of thing.
Not only that, I feel because of the current culture, Agric is not flex. You know, I can't go into a rice field and then post it and then it will be trending. When I'm look at a rice field and then it's happening. You know, or maybe I'm in a cabbage farm. Like some law, you know.
You know why? It's because we have always looked at agriculture as something for the old people.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then someone is actually going to say like a safari suit because it's like. You know those colors for farmers.
The
khaki, the cordro kind of arrangement. You know all those colors. It's because we're not necessarily putting a certain vibe on agriculture. You can get into South Africa and you find this young lady who's got like 50 cattle. You know, 50 cattle. This person is like running a farm. She's looking all nice. She's in her makeup. If at all you do not want to let go of makeup, because the picture that we've put Fafa and majombo no.
So maybe we should rebrand farming.
Thank you.
Because I think the picture that's out there,
it's not inviting, you know what I mean? It's not inviting. It's up to us to like.
Or do you think it's just the young people who are not so motivated enough to do some other stuff?
Well, trust me, for young people in most cases, they don't necessarily get encouraged by old people. I will say that again. In most cases, young people do not get encouraged by old people. Old people encourage other old people. So if a young person can see other young people that are thriving in this agric thing, trust me, they will delve into it. Because at that particular moment, if it is an old person here talking about the goodness of farming, what the young person is going to be thinking about at that particular time is Zamachembe, that is one. And then two, that person can even ask the old person to say, what were you doing when you were our age? Because they want to know. So in most cases, the old people motivate and inspire and encourage other old people. So if young people can delve into this, other young people would also delve into it. So we need to be our own trendsetters.
Exactly. Anyway, I think as young people, again, it's the other thing that I was saying at this year's Youth Day was that we need to stop referring to ourselves as future leaders or leaders of tomorrow. I mean, what should we? Because what that does is it makes us shut down our present, and then we start looking up to tomorrow, which we don't even know. To say this tomorrow is going to be like this or that. So let us be the leaders right now. Let us start doing the things that we think we should do in our future right now. Yeah, so that we can build something. Because time is running out.
It is.
Time is running out.
It is.
You can't build something big when you're already old. When you're already old, it's time for you now. Now it's chill. You go on your retirement home.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So now moving on from being an artist, you're now a reporter.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Were there any challenges when you're transitioning from this, or was it? This is another.
I think this is one of the smoothest moves I've ever made.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's because of the interest which I've always had, like since childhood.
Yeah.
The interest in cameras, the interest in microphones and all. I was actually making someone laugh yesterday. I was telling her to say those days when I could see Chinese people measuring roads.
Yeah.
You know, by Yema with those machinery, and they would be like, they want to measure the straight line, and I'll be passing there thinking that okay, those are cameras, and I would literally tell my Muni basic achen, not knowing that they were just trying to measure the roads and where to construct them and all that. So that is where the interest actually started, and also watching ZNBC, Patricia Ellis Pomolo, Mary Magambo. When we were growing up, I was like, I would also love to be on TV.
Yeah.
One day to read news, to cast news, and just to present and to do one or two things. So when this opportunity came, I think I was the most excited.
Yeah. And when we were talking about reporters, so I was doing a little research on the reporters, and I found out to say some reporters are interested in just one particular kind of stories, maybe because of a certain attachment they have to read. Maybe some of just be interested in reporting things about women and stuff. What stories do you really enjoy?
Community news. I love community news. I love sports news as well. Yeah, because I really love to see people transition. You were watching this guy playing soccer in the Mongo Sports Stadium. The next thing is now playing in one of the big teams in Lusaka. The next thing is you're seeing this person has been picked, by one of the European countries, or maybe he's in the States or somewhere there and is playing. I mean, it's so awesome. Imagine what you feel like when you watch someone on TV. You're like, how? You can get your phone to show people in case they are refusing. I can get that. So that really brings me so much joy. That is one. And then secondly, the community news, getting to give an opportunity to someone to air out their views on TV. And they feel it that, oh wow, today I have spoken and the nation has heard me.
Exactly.
I really feel nice that way. And then the next thing is you meet this person and they're like, oh, guess what? That thing which I reported, that thing which I said on TV has been changed. Currently something different. I'll give a perfect example. The other time I was covering news in Senanga, in a place called Nzuli, or Cooks rather. They were experiencing water challenges. They had been there for like 8 good months without water on their taps. And they had to go to Senanga, to the Zambezi River to go and fetch water from there. And then they see me with cameras and they're like, would really, really want to say something. I'm like, please, feel free. So they air out their views. And then that was like on a Friday. On a Monday afternoon, they're calling me and they're like, hi, Christy, we now have water. I could sense the joy from there. And I was like, oh, wow, I will come back to you so that you can also say it on camera that you now have water. Because as it stands, people still know that you do not have water. And that is where now the challenge comes in. Some people think we only report on negative things. They never had to them.
That's negative.
That's always the notion. Like something really negative. But it is something positive. I mean,
But from your experience, what sells more? What news sells more?
both success stories and the negatives, both. So if I'm gonna come to you and you complain about Chisonga Road, okay? No, in my potholes. So you complain bitterly on the screen. And then suddenly, we are seeing all these machineries perfecting Chisonga Road, and it is all smooth. I mean, people are going to be like, okay, so these leaders are actually listening to their people. That is one. And they are also going to applaud you for not being a coward by staying backwards when you're seeing things going wrong. So it's like you are applauded for actually speaking out. Your leaders are also applauded. And then also the people that were affected the most, maybe pregnant women that could not actually reach their health facilities because of the road, you know, that kind of thing. So both. So you do not just have to go and capture, oh, the road is damaged, and when it is worked on, you still keep quiet. Because you know what? The person that watched that the road is damaged, up to now they'll even be giving examples.
You know, I've met people in Lusaka who are like, this sort of sand in Mongo. I'm like, when last were you there?
Thank you.
When last were you there?
You're not doing a good job of reporting.
Exactly. Exactly. So if something goes wrong, you report it. When it goes right,
you report it. Yeah, I think that narration of news being negative, I remember one guy who I considered to be my mentor told me to say, do you watch news? I said, yes, stop watching it. Because there's a lot of negative things there, you don't want that negative energy in you. So everyone still thinks news has to be negative. Yeah. But she has made a complaint. She has said the Chisonga Road, I hope people will get this.
I've actually made like several news
on that same road.
On the same road, and the latest response I got was that machinery has been acquired.
There is machinery now.
Yes, they have purchased machinery through the 2023 CDF.
History.
And that those machines are packed at the Mongo Municipal Council, and that they will start working soon. So
I thought maybe it was a report to say there is machinery on the side. They have started working.
Yeah, but this story has been around for long now.
Yeah,
because there have been always machines packed somewhere. Yeah,
that's true. And one other challenge that we get to face is, if you are really affected, you know, by the same road, you are not going to speak, even when I come with my camera. You know, that kind of thing. And yes, you are like they're affected. And then behind the camera, you are really complaining bitterly.
Yeah.
So I need to pick your emotions.
Yeah.
I need to pick your emotions. Because I cannot begin to speak on your behalf. They will say, no, she's the one running the agenda. You know, that kind of thing. So I need you, who's mostly affected, to actually out your views.
Yeah, exactly. I think people are scared of their leaders to some extent.
And that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the case, but you see this, again, coming back to that question that I asked about the system. The system, the way it's created is that these people cannot be complained to. And now as I'm growing up, now as I'm getting exposed to a number of things, I even get to understand that theory of the people who has funded this person is the person that they are working for really.
There is a person by the name of Thomas Sankara.
Yeah.
He said, you cannot bite the finger that feeds you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have got our leaders. There's someone who is backing them up. There's someone who is funding them, who funded their campaign, who funded their nomination. That person is the one who is giving them to say, do this next, do this next, don't listen to this. Yeah. Now I get to understand it more, because people get scared, because to some extent, again, these same people, there is the people who like have a hand in who gets a job in government, who does this ABC, who gets a contract, etc. So it creates that fear
among the people. I hear you.
Yeah. So which is very sad at the end of the day.
Yeah. Literally.
And what are some of the challenges that you get to have as right now as you are a reporter?
I think the first one I've already mentioned, where people do not want to speak.
Yeah.
In front of the camera, but they would rather speak behind the camera. I mean, I'm not working for a radio station.
Yeah.
We need to see you. You know, like it's a TV.
Yeah.
You know, like you need to be on the screen. You know, but then you'd have these people, like you can even tell that they're really mentioning these points, these valid points about how they're being affected by a certain situation. Kono chale tuksafe la camera.
Menzi, photo zeni.
Camera shy. You know, so I think that's the greatest challenge that I have faced, and also culturally, you would find a situation in a community, and the people that are mostly affected are the women, and the women will say, no, we do not speak, it is only our men who speak. Yeah.
You still, there's still something like that you have to know.
Yeah. Join me now, and if this is something which is really affecting that person.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that is also one of the challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one I wanted to ask about you know, especially when you're reporting something to do with politics. Do you get to have people who call you to say, you know, come to this event, but we don't want you to cover ABC, a part of this event, just capture this part?
I think being in private media, they totally understand that private media does not choose what to air and what not.
Yeah.
That's one important thing with being in private media.
So
they know
that kind of a situation before?
Because they know this is private media, even if we tell them they'll air. It's not like other kinds of media stations.
Yeah.
You know, that would try by all means to defend, you know, even the wrongs, because they want to maintain a certain picture. You know. So for private media, we call a spade a spade. I mean, if you watch Diamond News, they're even going to tell you we are unbiased. We mention verified news. We are not going to be quick to mention things that have gone wrong just because every other media station is posting them, and then even you just quickly rush because you want to have that name that, oh, you know, you have to verify. So that is what covers me, I think, as private media. So the people will know that this is Diamond. You can't tell them what to do. Yeah.
And speaking of fake news, these days everyone is a news reporter.
That's right.
Everyone has got a
Facebook
license
page. For that, can't you be arrested for?
No, everyone has got a Facebook page.
Because
so
also,
each and everyone can post a rumor. It goes on.
But does it break any law in Zambia or?
Currently, journalism does not have a practicing license.
What?
Yeah, you do not need.
So even I can start tomorrow.
I mean, you do see
Right
people.
now,
I'm thinking the next podcast we should have it from the Songa Road, you know, right in the bottom.
You do see people, you know, an accident has happened and the person will be there with the phone. As you can see, there's a truck that just hits the Hilux.
Exactly.
And we do not really know where the driver for the Hilux has gone, but the Hilux is here. You know, like they would rather just make the news trend and like even helping in that kind of situation where someone.
Also, the intention is the news trending and them being the first one to post.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to be the first one so that they can have that name to say, oh wow. But then at the end of the day, imagine now you've reported that such and such a person has died on the spot. Yeah. And then later on, you discover that this person hasn't actually died. So what do you do?
Ouch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I brought that up because of the recent happening of Rainford Calabar, where people were posting, RIP.
Yeah.
Someone actually even posted saying, my sources never lie.
I mean, because
they even said my sources never lie.
And then the next thing is this person has been discharged from the hospital. So what do you do to that post? And you know, people are so quick to actually screenshot what they feel this is gonna backfire. Yeah. So you post before you could actually delete it. Someone has screenshot and they will begin to show. They begin to resend. Yeah. You know, that kind of thing. So you really need to verify, like whatever it is that you said before it backfires. Yeah, so it's usually about, oh wow, they were the first ones. And then what?
Have you ever been paid to push propaganda?
No. Maybe in the near future.
But could you accept an offer for such?
No.
Look at Mama camera, you answer.
No, no. I mean, because if, take for instance, someone has come and said, well, my family was killed by such and such a person.
Yeah.
And then maybe the family of that person come to you and they say, we're going to give you this much. You should say that, no, actually, that person who was saying that is actually mentally ill.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. That person is actually mentally ill. So whatever it is that he or she was saying was actually wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But then your conscience at that particular moment is, for this person to come and complain to me, it's because they believe that I'm their last hope.
Yeah.
That if they are going to air out their views using my camera, that I should send forth that information so that at least the people that are supposed, the relevant authorities can come through. And then imagine, this person has this hope and trust in you. The next thing is they are seeing the opposite of the news you are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think at that particular moment, conscience is the one that comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a great conversation so far. I think we should leave some other things for part.
But definitely not leaving out Christine Musole.
You know, almost asking her, like, she came
We are not going to leave.
Yo!
How do we leave Christine Musole?
she came with a book.
I mean,
First of all, am I in this magazine? Because I remember I asked for a pitch.
for a picture.
Yeah, you
of
told me
course.
you were going to put it in there. Let's open.
You are
see
here.
there. I'm there.
Yeah, you are here.
Yeah,
Oh, it
I need to
was?
check it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I asked for a picture in.
in the man to feature.
Yeah.
It is in Christine Magazine. But well, maybe before we even get into Christine Magazine, because I mean, we also aim to inspire. So I came with some of my certificates.
Some, yeah?
Some. There's
Take
two
note of
more.
the sun, yeah?
Yeah, some.
Yo, this is a whole pamphlet. Yeah, okay.
This is a whole yeah, so this, I didn't even mention something. I said I love
You love reporting.
I love reporting on
sports.
soccer.
Yeah.
So on this one, I think I was recognized for having the first position during the Mongo District Inter-School.
Is that camera on?
Yes?
Yeah, I think
Focus
you
on
can
this
just
one.
focus on that camera.
Yeah, so this was
Wait a
about
minute.
soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Mongo District Inter-School Games.
That was when?
This was 2012.
24.
Wow.
Yeah, this was.
What were you doing?
I was playing. I was a striker.
You were playing
Come on
soccer?
now, I mean.
Oh, wow.
I was playing soccer. So this was, yeah, I would give you to hold that one for now.
Yeah.
And then this one is for role modeling as well as promoting gender equality. It's called ICA, that is I Care About Her. And so
Okay.
this is a group that is being run by various artists in the country, you know,
Yeah.
that wants to use art to promote gender equality and also to spread forth information against GBV,
Yeah.
you know, and all that, just to educate the masses over the same. Yeah, so it's about role modeling this one.
Is there any in progress?
Yeah,
And how can people get in touch with you on this one? You
Well,
must be.
through
An active
through
man.
through my socials,
No, okay.
and also just
Yeah, I think
calling
we'll
me
put your
directly.
social handles down
That's
there.
right, that's right. So this one was for, okay, I acquired this one in Brazil at the
Whoa. Cuchalo.
Escuela Nacional Florestan Fernandez School. It's for popular education. I was being taught on how best to speak to the masses. So talking about
Public
mass
speaking.
communication
Yeah.
and public speaking.
In Brazil.
In Brazil.
So you went to Brazil?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was not distance learning.
Whoa.
Okay, so this one is from the cake market. Of course, I know how to bake cakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll need one in the next episode.
You know, so that you can have a bite.
Yeah.
Trust me. And then at the end of the day, do not say he that feeds you controls you.
Yeah, no. we won't do
Yeah.
that.
No, we won't bite the finger.
I hear you. Okay, so this one was about leadership. I was being recognized for being, you know, a good leader at Kampole Technical Secondary School, for being head
okay.
girl. Yeah. Hey, okay.
Hey, Lord.
I think this one is the
We're
one that
still going.
I attained at St. John's.
That's for the
Oh, the
music.
music.
The
one, yeah?
musical one, that, yeah.
You got this one.
This was in 2011, if I'm not
2011 and it still looks
No,
fresh.
2012. Actually, 2012.
So right now I was going to tell you like, yes, you're good at keeping things.
Please, I don't even need to laminate.
Yeah, because for me, all my certificates are even with my grandma.
Awesome.
With my mother.
Awesome. Okay, so this was the one for singing.
Yeah.
And then for this one, it was in Botswana.
Okay.
I traveled to Botswana.
I'm counting
Yeah,
2 countries now so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm counting.
Come on first, girls get inspired.
Okay, so this one, I was in Botswana. I was one of the speakers there at a program which was organized by the Congolese organization which looks into Pan-Africanism and all.
Okay.
So I was one of the speakers there. So I got recognized.
You're speaking internationally now.
Yeah. So this one is for radio acting. Of course, I spoke about Falamadi Langu, Zambia. So I got recognized with this one as well. Okay. So this was for another course again in Brazil.
Went there twice.
No,
Flakes.
it was
Flakes.
once, but different. Yeah.
But twice would have been better, yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
No, she's still traveling.
I think this is one of my best.
Okay.
So I attained this one in Latin America, in Venezuela, to be specific.
Alright, can you repeat that?
Venezuela, in Latin America, yeah. So here I was recognized by the Vice President of Venezuela as well as the Minister of Gender for being someone who's advocating for gender equality.
Even the signatures look international.
They can tell. Even the language which is on the... Can you read from that?
No, I can't.
I thought so. I think this is where AI comes in.
Yeah, that's where AI comes
Just
in.
to translate for
I'll
us.
study it.
Yeah.
You should.
So you traveled to Venezuela?
Yeah, I did.
Ish.
Wow.
That's 3 countries now. Ish.
Oh, but I've been to 8 countries
Wow.
so far. So this one is for peer education.
Where are the girls? You think Lusaka is a destination?
This one is for peer education and this one is for teaching. So I
Peer
think so
education.
far. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then
The Christine magazine.
that's Christine.
I think that's the first magazine in Western Province, isn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think so. So I think this is just an intro to it. I think in the next, I don't know
When are we
I'm going to
expecting?
be invited. So for now, I cannot really state when because we are making several changes to the magazine. There are certain things that we need to put into it. Like you can see, there are a number of empty pages here at the back. There are some things that we need to put here.
So it's not yet out? Or?
No, it's not yet out
Oh, okay.
because this is just a launch issue, just for advertising and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is about Christine Magazine. It's all about inspiring, educating the young people.
I'm already inspired.
You are.
Include me in the team.
I will. I mean, why not? Why not? So yeah, this is about
Sorry.
Christine Magazine. We'll talk about it in detail the next time when I'm on Chat and Chill.
Yeah, speaking of that, that same magazine, when what really inspired you to start that? Because I'm sure there's a story behind it.
Of course, what really inspired me to come up with Christine Magazine is discovering how young people in Mongo or Western Province are really, really talented, as well as gifted, in various aspects of life. And I asked myself to say, okay, yes, they are doing this. They are doing massive things. They are using their skills, their potential. And now the question is, who is writing about them?
Yeah.
Who is documenting them? I mean, we now have Chat and Chill. Who is documenting the fact that there is Chat and Chill? Someone needs to write that.
We should fill one of the
one of the pages.
It needs to be archived.
Yeah.
It needs to be archived so that those that are coming behind us are going to read about it and they'll be like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
this is what is happening.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone on a bus or on a flight is reading Christine Magazine and the next person on the seat is like, well, can I take a look? I've seen Mongo there.
Yeah.
And then they take a look and they find you. And they find Denzel photography and they're like, oh, okay. So you can actually hire, some photographers in case of any of your event. Oh, so we have young people that are carpenters. We have young people that can plait hair. So it doesn't choose to say, okay, only those that are thriving in the white collar kind of arrangements. No. But even someone who's making a basket out of grass, that's a skill that needs to be documented.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
You know, I am impressed with the magazine thing because printing out a magazine is not cheap. Yeah.
I hear you.
So for you to start, you're going to calculations.
Actually.
I hear you.
What's the funding behind it?
No. I can't mention, the funding because you know what somebody said?
Yeah.
The moment someone knows where you get bread, they will go and bend the bakery.
Yo.
I'll tilt it my way. I'll bend it.
You want bread?
I'll just tilt it my way.
Yeah, I hear you. But actually this one is self-funded.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is
You
self-funded
must be
because
making a lot of money.
it's a launch issue.
Yeah.
And because it's a launch issue.
No, wait. Go back to the first page. I'm seeing Eswatini, yeah?
Yeah.
You traveled to Eswatini?
I've not been to Swaziland, but the people that are here, I've interacted with them before. I've actually been in the same room with them. I just wrote a little bit about their culture. We are also having people in Misisi and Liziba on the other side. Yeah.
Are you going to have just a physical magazine or are you planning to launch an online magazine as well?
An online magazine as well, because we do totally understand that there are those people that would really want to read it, but they are out. Like I have mentioned, I've been to 8 countries so far.
Yeah, so people from those 8 countries know you. You have their contacts. You have people who can advertise for you out there.
That's right.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll have an online magazine as well, so that those people it will keep on replicating itself.
Nice.
Yeah, and coming back to that, the reading culture.
That's right.
Yeah, are we seeing like a lot of people reading books nowadays? Like a lot of young people reading, or not?
We still have a number of people reading. I visited a friend of mine recently in Kaoma, and I was surprised about how many books I saw, how many books I found. That this person is reading, and I was like, oh, you still read? It's like, yes, there is just something about reading a book that you can touch, not necessarily something that you can just scroll up.
Exactly.
Some people are even going to tell you, yes, I have the online Bible on my phone, but I think when I'm reading the hard copy, it more feels like okay, I'm reading my Bible.
No, personally, I don't do ebooks.
Yeah?
No.
Tangible ones.
When you're reading a book, it's like you're touching the words. Yeah.
Come on now.
There's something that happens in your brain when you flip a page.
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah.
So personally, I wouldn't want the online magazine. I would want the physical one.
Yeah. If I'm also taking notes in class, I'd rather not use my phone. Oh, I'm just there. It also looks as if you're not serious. You're not focusing. You're just there writing your notes, and then all of a sudden a message pops up. We're done. And you're like, we're done. What do you mean we're done? Before you know it, I I keep on telling people on Facebook, not to sleep before a message pops up and say we can't do this anymore.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. Or someone says we need to talk. And that message of just 3 words, we need to talk. 4.
Yeah.
It can really mess up. I'm telling you. Yeah. And then the person tells you not today, tomorrow. You're like, what? So how am I going to leave now knowing that we need to talk tomorrow?
Because I'll be stuck on that thought the whole 24 hours.
Literally. So
class not changing.
So when you're using a hard copy, it's like you really have this.
Yeah.
It's really
even the focus is different.
It's different.
Yeah.
Totally.
Anyway, this has been a great conversation. Thank you for accepting our invite to come. It's not easy on the first time you get to respond to us. Yeah,
I hear you.
Really appreciate
she's just a positive person. I like her.
Yeah, exactly. You feel it, right?
But so you're saying it's been good. I'm like,
we have been rolling for an hour now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
An hour 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now we are still a new channel on YouTube. We have I think right now maybe we are in 80 subscribers. Yeah, but we have had like 700 people watch our episodes. But some of them haven't subscribed. So the camera is on, right? Yeah, so I want you to please encourage them to subscribe.
Wherever you're watching me from, is it from the east, west, north or south, you better follow Chat and Chill podcast on YouTube. Your like is really going to make a difference. And also, he's going to talk about you following my page. So let me not mention about following my page.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've even forgotten my page.
No. I actually said like we'll put your handle somewhere there.
I like how she flipped. Yeah, it was flowing and I'm like, what?
I hear you.
Yeah, anyway guys, there you have it. Please hit the subscribe button. Please, we beg you. That's the only way you can support us. Like the videos, share, comment, recommend it to your other friends. We are here to connect, reflect, and inspire. And obviously have a little fun here and there. It has been your host Ngenda, aka Bills. My guest has been Christine Musole. She wanted to say her name though.
Oh, shame.
Yeah. You wanted to say your name. I could see that. Maybe.
Okay, it has been your one and only Mbunda, proud Mbunda. So
I'm sure.
Christine.
That's the part she didn't want you to leave out.
Yeah.
A proud Mbunda. I mean, a number of people say, "Kono ena Mbunda, kono apo tabila uko ba Mbunda." How am I supposed to walk?
You know, it usually gets people when you're proud of something that they want to shame you on.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And then they're like, just how?
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know?
And that frustrates them. So this is your one and only proud Mbunda, Christine Musole.
Yeah. We have there, Denzel Photography, Jago Graphics. See you on the next episode, guys. Thank you for watching.